Coming up this week on Ralph and Vicki's Archer's Choice.
You know, Australia and the Outback has been on a bucket list of ours for a long time. Something intrigued Vicki and I. Then we met George, and we were like, oh yeah, we have to go, and we have to hunt with George.
Buffalo for dinner.
There you go. That sounds good.
Okay, hold it in the middle. The left. Your other left. To the right. Just put it in the center. There.
Hey, welcome to this week's Archer's Choice.
This week we are going down under.
We're going to
right.
Australia.
Now, we've never been there.
No,
So
this is like a dream.
Cool
this is kind of a bucket list thing.
Yes.
We headed to Leithen Valley. I mean, this is just, it was so cool.
With George of
The jungle.
No,
No,
it's
the
not the
Outback.
jungle.
It'd be
Outback.
Of the
George,
Outback, yeah.
George of the Outback, yeah.
That
Watch
would be
out for that
buffalo.
tree, let's see what
Termite
else.
mound.
Termite
Remember
mounds.
those big termite mounds? They were huge.
Yeah, he ran some over too.
Yeah, he did.
No,
but
no,
you know,
we never did that.
we went down there to hunt water buffalo and scrub bulls, and
Yes.
the
It was a
wildlife
family
was crazy.
adventure.
It was a huge family affair. It was pretty fun.
It was. I'll tell you what, I'd go back in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. You know, the only bad part was that flight that went around the world 500 times. It was long. It was really long. Let's just get going, shall
I don't know
we?
how Christopher Columbus did it.
He didn't fly.
Around.
Okay.
No, but sailing.
He didn't
Because
fly.
it took us like days. I can't imagine it taking like years almost with the ship.
Okay.
It's a relative
Yeah.
of mine. Down under. Well, believe it or not, it's a good thing we came early because we're about 2.5 hours into this trip. Tried to charge us extra for luggage, even though we were allowed 2 bags each. And that's all we had, huh?
Yeah.
Security took over an hour.
And because of the glitch, the United computer glitch today, yeah, our flight's been delayed. Hang on,
RJ.
our flight's been delayed, and right now we have like 20 minutes between this flight to Los Angeles and Los Angeles to Sydney, so we may end up spending the night in LA. I don't know, we'll have to see.
So the trials and tribulations of all of this has just proved that I hate flying. But we're still gonna try to get to Australia. You know, Australia and the Outback has been, well, I hate to put it this way, but it's been on a bucket list of ours for a long time. Just something about I don't know. You know, after watching Crocodile Dundee and all anything else, you know, Quigley Down Under and all the movies, and there was always something intrigued Vicki and I, and especially, you know, as RJ, with him growing up, you know, we talked about it, and then we met George, and we were like, oh yeah, we have to go, and we have to hunt with George. Seems like just great people, and you know, and the trip to get here, well, it's a long one. Started from Chicago to California to Sydney to, yeah, it was a long one. Darwin, then George met us and picked us up.
Airline travel. Unfortunately, it's a necessary evil that the traveling hunter has to endure to get to the best destinations.
Well, our saga continues. Yep, we finally made it to Darwin after about almost 30 hours of traveling, and Vicki's bag is not here. So we finally arrive in Australia, and I mean, everything comes except her bag of clothes, and she's like stressing out and panicking. What about me? Remember Washington? We're going on a hunt. My bow don't show. But no, it's nowhere near as drastic as her clothes don't show.
Really, Ralph? You're a guy. It doesn't matter if your bags come or not. I'm a girl.
Well, we lost my bag yesterday. Everyone else's bags came in. So now George is gonna use his miracle magic to see what we can do to make sure we get my bag to camp. Because the address they have is only gonna get to Catherine, and we're farther than Catherine, so. Now he's gonna get a voicemail. It's gonna say that they aren't around until later this morning. And it's gonna give him another number to call. I'm gonna be wearing Ralph, RJ's, and Josh's clothes all week long. If I could just get some clean underwear, I'd be happy. We just found out my bag made it to Darwin, but we are now in Catherine, and we have another 2.5 hours to get to camp to the Conway Cattle Station with George, Leithen Valley Hunts. So, I'm not gonna have clean clothes for at least two full days, so I'm gonna go shopping. I just need some like undergarments. I can steal Ralph and RJ's clothes, but I need some things that they don't own.
Yeah, there's some certain things that we are not going to own or even buy, so we're going to let her go do that.
I just finished clothes shopping. This little itty bitty bag, you'd be proud of me. Yes, there's a Target logo on there. It wasn't like our Target's back at home in the States. We are gonna go find the rest of the guys, RJ and George and Josh. They're doing some grocery shopping, but I do have clean undergarments now, sleepwear, and a couple clean t-shirts and a pair of pants, just in case it takes a little bit longer than expected to get my bag back.
Now that the AC crew has all the, shall we say, essentials and groceries, they're on the road and on their way to the lodge.
Well, we just got here to Leithen Valley, and we are pumped. George, it was like a 5-hour drive, huh?
Yep. But we had to stop and do a little shopping for my...
Yeah, Vicki still don't have her luggage, but the good important thing, she's got her bow.
My bow made it.
Her
so
bows?
that's good. And I got a couple new shirts and some clean underwear. So
she's
good.
pretty happy.
I am happy.
We're just going to make sure everything's dialed in. We're at 20 yards.
What do you think? Yeah, they're almost touching.
It's a dead buff.
It is a dead buff.
A dead buff. Australian water buffalo.
Well, I'm all sighted in, and I am ready for my first Australian hunt. It's first morning here in Australia.
Usually the first morning, it's crazy because you're just
A little
chaotic, but you're also filled with anticipation, excitement, and you don't know where to turn, and that's how we are.
And usually when you have your own clothes and everything else to wear, you usually feel a little more comfortable too, but seeing how I'm sporting all of Ralph's stuff, including his pants that he shortened for himself. So it's a good thing I actually had a coat to wear, because otherwise I'd be chilly too. So
yeah, I think first starting out, you want to bring a little bit of...
Yeah, it was a little chilly this morning, but I think as soon as we get out there, that sun is going to warm everything up. But we're excited. We get to see all kinds of crazy things.
We drove with Big G for a while here, and we know that, hold on. Hold on.
Our first day out here in Australia, George takes us out in the cruiser, and we're not really sure what we're going to see, what we're expecting. Nothing. This is all new to us. We have no idea. We went out and we saw so many water buffalo. I mean, cows, calves, bulls. George is looking for an old, mature bull, one that he wants to take out of the herd for his management plan. We got up on 2 of the bulls, and George, from a distance they looked good. We got up, we went out, we stalked, we tried getting up on them. We got a little closer, and George is like, you know what, it's a nice bull, but it's still a young one, let's let it grow. Well, George decided that this bull was too young, but you know what, it was a great experience, and it helped me tune in my stalking skills.
Vicki and George continue their search for a mature bull. They spot another bull. The Australian Outback is a harsh landscape, but the Asian buffalo thrive in the environment.
Going down looking for some water. George says that we're gonna pass on him, that we can do better. This is a good young bull again, but we wouldn't shoot him on the last day, so we're not gonna shoot him on the first day. That's what he said.
In other words, when you go on a hunt, remember this. Don't guide the guide.
3:30 in the afternoon, and we're still looking. It's prime time. George is like, you know what? We're going to go out early in the morning and drive around. And we're going to be looking for him. We're on the big open roads. I mean, there's no fences around here. You're just driving. And sometimes he's on a gravel road, and sometimes he just goes where he wants to go. And it's kind of funny. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we're going to get stuck somewhere. Well, what ended up happening about 3:30 prime time, he's driving and he says, uh-oh. And we don't know what he's talking about. Well, one of the steering rods broke. We're 20-something miles as a crow flies from camp, according to the GPS, according to my InReach. We're stuck in the middle of nowhere with a broken steering rod.
We're trying to get GPS readings to camp, but it's not happening very easy, so plan B. We'll try and make it to the road.
George took out a satellite phone, called back here to camp, talked to his mom, Sue. She went ahead and called the neighbor who has a helicopter. George has extra, the parts that he needs. Neighbor flies in his helicopter, picks up all the parts, flies out to where we're at according to the GPS locations, and we fix the cruiser in the middle of nowhere. Crazy. Even Ralph was underneath this cruiser, which Ralph, you know, he's not that mechanically inclined, but he and George got it figured out and we made it back to camp safely.
With an adventurous day 1 in the books and the crew safely back at the lodge, Vicki can focus on the day tomorrow.
It is day 2 down here with Leithen Valley and George, and today we are going to go shoot some water buffalo. We tried yesterday. We got some good stalks in yesterday.
We did?
We did.
Yep.
Ralph's got his sneaky feet on or something like that so that he won't be as noisy, because he was so noisy yesterday, wasn't he? Yeah, he was.
Probably why we didn't get it back.
I'm thinking it was. I'm totally thinking it was his fault.
So I go around and I hear that they're picking on me because I had my stalking booties on and I was the quiet one. And I mean, they're gonna put the blame on me. Oh my gosh. I'll take it. I'll take it. Because I don't need this aggravation.
You know, because I don't have boots still, because I don't have luggage. So it is what it is. And George here, he doesn't need boots. He just goes barefoot whenever he wants, which is kind of crazy. I mean, don't you step on like thorns and stuff? Doesn't it hurt?
It does.
But you act so cool. You don't tell anyone. You just keep walking. Oh, well. All right, let's load up, huh? Get out of here. Let's go.
Let's do it.
On their trek through the bush, Ralph and Vicki get an unexpected taste of some Aussie history when they stumble upon some Aboriginal petroglyphs.
This is what's so cool. We're here in almost like the rock formations, and this is
An Aboriginal
artwork.
rock drawing.
Rock drawings.
We're trying to figure out what he's doing. I think he's sleeping.
Looks like
Maybe
a
this is
man
where
with
he's sleeping.
A bunch of toes.
And then there's something over here, but then there's also stuff up above as well, so it's pretty cool. And I guess they're finding more around the corner. But this is, we're in Australia. This is like, this isn't a tourist spot. This is just really cool.
Back in the bush in the wild, and we're seeing this stuff. How cool is that's what hunting is all about, the adventure, the experience. And George just drove up here and he's like, whoa, look at that.
That's cool.
What was that person doing that painted those pictures, you know? Was he a hunter? Were they hunter-gatherers? Were they coming in from the ocean because we were near the sea? You know, was it the aliens coming down? Who knows what it was?
Some of the unique things here about Leithen Valley is it's a family-owned business. And as you all know us, family's everything. And to get to meet George's parents, you know, Snowy and Sue, and you just have that down-home feeling, and it makes you so comfortable because when you take your family to travel halfway around the world, you want that sense of security, and we definitely found it immediately, meeting George's family.
I just saw a pretty good bull. We're gonna go out and see if we can't go get a stalk on him.
We'll just take a wide berth and go out just in case he's up in here.
Okay, because
If we go,
further.
yeah, I think it is this way. But if he's up in here and we get in front of him, it's the winds.
Right, right.
Yeah.
The Asian water buffalo originated in South Asia and China, but can now be found in a number of countries, including Australia. After introduction to Australia in the mid to late 1800s, the herds grew to over 150,000 animals. The herds were reduced later through a campaign to bring their numbers into check and also eradicate diseases found in the herd. Now the herd is believed to be as strong as ever, and the hunting opportunities for these beasts abound. Compared to their cousins, the Cape buffalo of the African continent, these brutes are much larger in body size and are just as tough to kill. Spot and stalk is the preferred method of hunting at Leithen Valley Trophy Hunts, Australia. The massive 360,000-acre concession of trackless scrub forest offers opportunities to get close to the massive bulls that roam the area. Vicki and George are taking advantage of the trees and scrubs to get in close to the bull and have decided to be patient and let the bull feed to them.
I just shot an Australian water buffalo in Australia. We saw him. We were driving around looking for a good buff. We spotted him. We tried to get to a point, like George said. He said we should probably just wait for him to come to us instead. So that's what we did. Is we just sat and waited and we kneeled. When we first saw him, he was 60-something yards away. And he was feeding towards us. The wind was always in our favor. My legs are numb right now because I was kneeling on him for so long. And now all of a sudden they're starting to get a little more adrenaline pumped into him. Anyways, the entire time I kept thinking, I knew the one sand mound was 24 and the tree was 30. I've been practicing my Hoyt right here, my Factor Turbo. It is 70 pounds and I drew that puppy back like nothing. I didn't even wiggle, I don't think. I think I just drew back straight adrenaline. My arrow's 900 grains. It was a 30-yard shot. He was about 27 yards. I left my 30 on him. My heart was pounding so bad, and I kept thinking to myself, oh my gosh.
George actually went to get the Land Cruiser because RJ's on there with Tia.
Yeah.
We're going to give it as just like a broadhead shot. I'm going to give it a little bit of time.
You guys here, Leithen Valley, in Australia of all places. I'm in Australia.
Exactly.
And you called it. It was just...
When it happens,
Yeah, it happens. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Don't happen easy, but
No,
man.
well, you know, I mean, and this morning it's cooler today than it was yesterday, and I know you're getting a little frustrated because it was cooler and the animals weren't coming to water.
Yeah.
And then we spotted this guy and put a stalk up on him, and like you said, you know what, we're just gonna wait because he's feeding, he's not going to water.
yeah. Buffalo for dinner.
There you go. That sounds good.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
The first Cianciarulo to get an Australian water buffalo with the Hoyt.
That was
How cool
really
was
cool.
that?
And I mean, we had to work up hard. I mean, I shot my Cape buffalo
Yep.
a year ago.
Yep.
Had to work up, use the same Hoyt factor. Had to get the short draw length or the short brace height in there
Right.
to get the energy
Give
I
you
needed.
more energy.
Still to work up to like that 74, 75. That was. Anyways, to sit there and to be able to have all that and to have all that going on and happening and being able to just, I mean, kneeling on the ground and having that buffalo walking
That's
up to us at like
cool.
24 yards and then just adrenaline just drew
That's
that bow back
why
so
we
smooth.
bow hunt.
It
Bow
was
hunting
so
to
cool.
us is not shooting 100 yards.
No, up
Man,
and
it's
close
getting
and
them
personal.
close and personal. Hearing them breathe, him hearing you breathe, and I mean, and you make it happen.
I know, it was so cool. It really was. And then everything else we got to experience. The helicopter coming in.
writings.
Yeah, the hieroglyphics, the paintings or whatever.
The chopper. That was crazy.
The helicopter
Could you
coming in
picture-
with parts. I mean, it was insane.
In the middle of nowhere, a helicopter comes in and brings parts. That shows you the influence that George Stewart has.
Really?
Yeah,
Or
he's-
he's just very lucky as a neighbor that has a helicopter. It was
That-
one of the. It
yeah,
could
that
be one
could
of.
be. I
It's
was
probably one of.
George,
the,
I was
yeah.
trying to build you up, bud.
Sorry, George.
But
You know.
she just nailed it. She just
But
threw
it was
down.
really was great, and there's so much more to share. So you're going to want to
Oh my
come back next week because we have more than even on the choice. We have more too. But you know what?
Download
Anyways,
her still.
we want to thank you for watching this week's Archer's Choice. We'll see you next week, same time,
Same channel.
right here on the Archer's Choice.